Good morning, traders. Welcome to our daily webinar. For my YouTube viewers, this will be out as the weekly update. Please, if you like these videos, please make your comment, like, share, and I will post more of these. If you're following me, you will know that you're getting 3-4 videos for the week, which means every day almost there's a video out that is very short, 5 minutes. It's on one specific pair. Please go watch them, only 5 minutes. Very interesting videos with a lot of analysis in it. I would probably do some cryptos this week. So if you're a crypto lover, you may want to follow. There are going to be some cryptos out this week that has some very interesting trades. I'm on a daily in the Bitcoin, right? And remember what we're looking for. We're looking for a move down like this. We pretty much got that. This one didn't take off as the way we expected, which means it's coming down back. When it comes down back, what you can expect is to either make a flat and make a new low, like this did. See, this made a flat here, then made a new low. Or they'll probably just drop like this, make a new low, and then go back up. But it will go back up. The point is it ready to go right now? We have a lot of divergence in here, and we have a lot of divergence between those two. So on the 4-hour, it came pretty low. For us, in terms of wave analysis, when it comes this low, the chances are that it could make a new high here, make a flat, drop here, and then go back up, right? Something similar to this, or even the bigger flat we had. But this could be a buy setup here for the upside. And again, like we bought this, you'll buy this. And if it doesn't go, once it comes to the top here, if it doesn't go, you will exit the trade. You'll have enough time to get rid of the trade, and you'll have enough time to go to the downside. Based on the rules of how you trade, we have rules on how to get in and get out of those. And then we would look for the buy setup here. Should you sell this? Well, that's a choice you will have to make. I think you probably wait for it to make a new low and then get into the buy for the upside. So let's go on the 1 hour and see what the trade setup would be. On the 1 hour, it's actually still looking downside, which means that this is still making a flag that could drop one more. But the bigger direction, if this is the impulse, as I think it is, the entry should be above the top, which means I'm looking for that trade up. Now, if I'm wrong about it, it's going to make a new low. Again, we're not interested in the sell in this. We're interested only in the buy because of where it is on the lower time frame. So I'll probably put an entry order here. I'll be watching this stop to see when it gets to this stop, what happens. Is it going to continue to go, or is it going to turn and give me a sell setup? Close the trade. Look for the sell if you want the sell. If you don't want the sell, then let it go. Right? You could put this to positive, put a stop there, and then wait until it drops and look for buy setup again. So that would be a buy setup. If it goes lower, it doesn't matter again. If it goes lower, I'm not interested in the sell. So I'm not trying to look for a sell setup. There is a short-term sell setup here right now. On the 1 hour, you can literally see this flag here, and this flag would probably give you a drop like that. Not a trade I'm interested in. Not a trade I don't think you should be interested in if you're trading Bitcoin. ETH, same here. ETH might be a sell. We bought this and we closed it, right? Because it didn't go. It's making more of a flat top here. You can see this, right? It looks like a flat with a running flat in the middle or so, right? But we had a very similar start here. And this is actually a sell setup. So this, you could sell this hoping that it drops to this level, go back up. If it drops through the low, the question is whether we put this as a running flat. Now, that's not a classical running flat. I'm not going to go through all the reason why that is not a classical running flat, but it's possible that it could be a running flat. And the bigger picture, this is what we have. Similar to Bitcoin, we've got a sharp move. We've got all of these moves up here. We've got to move down. And this is actually, I think this would be the running flat. Because this has a lot of correction here. This would be the classical running flat. And this could probably come and break the low again before they go. So can we look at this as a smaller version of a running flat? It's possible. You can make that argument that that's a small running flat. It's not classical, but you could make the argument for that. Go for the sell, wait until it breaks the low, or just leave it alone until it breaks the low. And then go for the buy, right? Let it break the low and then go for the buy. So on the 1 hour, what if it is not going to break the low? What if that is not a running flat? This is the low, that's the up move. This is the correction we're going. Put an entry order here. You can't go wrong with that, right? If it goes up back and break the stop, you put it in the positive. If they continue to go, you stay with it. If it reverses, we get out of the trade, right? You'll be out of the trade. XRP. We expect this to go back up. That is why we bought there. You close the trade. Can you put an entry at this level? You can, but that's not a good place to put it. Let's wait and see. I do think this would go up. This is the first impulse. This looks very corrective. This could take off, or it could probably just make another consolidation here, go back up, come back down, and then go. By that time, we'll probably be looking at this whole big structure as a flat if that happens. Down to the downside, we're not interested. Definitely not. Put an entry order there. I don't think that's the best entry order. Put one there just in case this takes off like that. Right? If it takes off like that, you'll be in the trade. We're expecting it to come back to this level. Right? If it's going to drop lower, let it drop beyond this point, and then we look for buy setups back to the top. Once it comes to this level, we'll decide whether we take this as a running flat, this breaks the low, and then go back up. Right? I don't like that as a running flat, so I think this is probably one of its own. On the short term, all of them have sell setups. This has a sell setup here. That's a very short-term trade. So let it drop. Ignore the sell, put an entry for the buy. If it just breaks the low and go up, you'll rather, if it breaks the low and go back, you can put your entry here or put your entry here, depending on where you get a flag for it, right? So the buy setup is what we're looking for. The sell will ignore. And that might be the same for all the cryptos, right? Take this off. It probably would be the same for this one if you look at it, because they're all at the low point, right? They're all at a pretty low on the daily. We're making low points in the daily. So at some point, this starts to go back up, right? It starts to go back up. It just not, even this up move, they pull back and then go, right? So at some point, this would start, 1 second, let me just mute. Yep, at some point, this starts to go back up. On the lower time frame, we broke the low. So any buy setup is a good one. And let's see, we don't have the perfect buy setup, but I like it. This was a deep flat there. Look, you can look at this as a deep pullback separate, the deep pullback separate, sharp move, sharp move, sharp move. This could be a big expanding flat, and this could go. So where you put your end shutter, put it above the top. Can't go wrong with that. Put it above the top. If it goes lower, ignore the sell. We're not interested in the sell. We're interested in the buy. Can you put your end shutter here? You can. It's a bit of an extra risk, but you can do that. ADA. Close the trade, put an entry order above the top here. Take this out. That was the previous low we broke. Actually, this looks like a flat, so the entry order there is a good idea. This one, same thing. I put an entry order here now for the upside and see what happens at that point. Now, you would look for two things. Either this takes off or it actually just comes here, make a flat and go back down. In that case, you'll get a break even. You'll close the trade for break even. Can this drop a little more? Yes, it can drop. Ignore the sell. AMP. This we bought. We bought all of them. None of them really went to the target, but none of them were lost, which means you could have got positive or break even for every single one. We repeat the same process here. Put an entry order here for a buy. This goes down a little more. This actually is a sell setup, right? This is a sell, see? This tells me it can drop there, but I'm not interested in this move or this move or this move. I'm interested in if it does that. That's the trade. So you keep that entry order there and see what happens. TRX. This looks good too. You've got a nice flat forming here. If this goes lower, then ignore it. If this goes lower beyond this point here, wait for the up move, wait for the flag, go for the trade. So right now, I'll not put an entry order on this simply because of that. Dash. Take off this trade, which we took. You see you had enough time to get positive, put the entry order there, and let's see what happens. This is a sell setup again. This looks like a sell setup. This could come back here and then go. If it drops lower, wait for an impulse, wait for a flag, buy again. Just like we did here, take the trade again. Put same thing. All of them are buy setups. We'll still remain with all of them being buy setups. And we'll wait to see what happens. We're not interested in the sell because all of them have short-term. This doesn't have it, by the way. We broke the low, so this could continue to go. As a matter of fact, you could get an earlier entry in this. If you make a flag before you get to that entry, that would be a buy setup. Dot. Same thing, put an entry above the top. And the same would go for all of them. This is pretty easy, right? The whole webinar is quick. We broke the low. I would be careful of this being a running flat. Okay, wait a second. We have more than one. We have quite a lot of them. So it's not that easy because there are more than one of them. Maybe this is the only one you probably don't buy as yet. because this could be a running flat here that comes back to this level and then go back there. And we're pretty much in a sideways move. So this up, this down, this up, probably come back here and then go. Stay away from this one. It's a little different. Okay, this one has a sharp move. I actually thought this one went down back, but it didn't go the way. You see the drop here, but it didn't go all the way to the low. So can we make an assumption that this here was the flat? 1, 2, 3. This is the up move. That is the flat. And we are going up now. So let's see the bigger picture. Yes, you could make that argument that it's going to make a new high. This is the pullback. This is going to go all the way to the top here, maybe make a new high, maybe a bigger correction, which means if this stays here longer and go there and do this, then we'll expect this to come back here and go. So it all depends on how this goes up. But can we buy it? Let's go back to the 1 hour and see. Yep, you can make an argument for a buy. It's going to make a running flat. It's incomplete. See this? So I think this is going to come here, come back down here, and then go. That looks more likely. Put an entry above the top. Go with an entry above the top so you don't have to worry about it. If it does take off, you're in the trade. And this one, we'll probably look at it like this. That makes sense. That's the closest you can come to anything. Maybe this one, but this doesn't look very nice. Maybe that one. That's a little complex. Could also be that one. I think that one is even much better than this one. Whichever one you chose, it doesn't matter. You get the idea. AVA. Leave this alone. It probably should drop and break this low first. This one is a buy. Put the entry above the top. And this one here is definitely a buy. Take this out and put the entry above the top. Now this can come down a little more, right? This here could come down a little more. No big deal, let it go. Even if it breaks the low, you repeat, you look for this flag, you buy, right? So the same thing. By the way, if you're trading, I promised some time back that I will do a couple of these on the long term so you can look at them for investments. This week I will do that. So stay put. You're going to get one at a time. Each one will be about 5 minutes only. I'll give you all the details in it and all the analysis and everything and why and how we think it's going to move. You'll make your choice. In terms of investment, I think about 3 of them are very, very good positions for that. So which means you buy without leverage and you hold for a longer period of time. Let's wait and see. So, okay, guys, I think that is for the crypto. Let's go look at some of these indices and then we'll have it. Natural gas. Okay, you have a running flat here. You're probably going to go retest the top here. You get a buy to retest that top. Go for the trade. There might be an entry order in the 1 hour. Yeah, you have a 1 hour entry order here with an entry above this top here to go. That's a good one. And let's see this. It's still going sideways, so we're probably still going to be stuck in the sideways here for a while. Take this off. You would have taken that off already a long time back because it spent many, many hours there. This looks like a flat. If this makes a flat, sorry, this here looks like a flat. If this turns out to be the flat, I think it is. They're going to come here, go back there. You get this. Consider that sell. It will take a while. If it happens, consider that sell. Consider this the flat. And if this makes another flat here, consider selling this piece. Crude oil, let's see. Crude oil is kind of, this could be an expanding flat, but we can't confirm that until we actually break this low. And if they're making a correction, breaking this low is a point from where they can go back up. See? So you just can't put an entry here because the risk is they can tag you and go right back up. So what you need to do is wait for a flag at the top here. If you get a 1 hour flag or a 50-minute flag at the top there, we take the trade down. If we get a flag, you actually had one there, sorry. If you get another one here, we take the trade down to this level, breaking that low, and then put it into positive because if this is what we think it is and it's an expanding flat for downside, they're going to drop. If it is actually an expanding flat to come and make a flat of 1, 2, 3, and then go back up, we'll be out of the trade somewhere here. And then we'll look for a buy setup. Now, both of those are possible, considering that, a lot of people want this oil price to drop. There's a good chance it could start to drop now. Right, on the daily, there's a lot of divergence. Without that, we had divergence on the chart in here, and we had divergence from this one here going, if you have the whole chart. This is not all, but if you have the entire thing, at this point, there's a good chance we can start to go down. So keep an eye on it. Wait for this. You're getting a setup for a sell. Take it if you get it, probably in the 15. UK oil, same thing. UK oil actually came back all the way to the top if this spike is true. So I would not risk this one, although there was a sell setup here in the 15, which would have been a good thing to do. Take that sell setup. I don't know if any of my traders took it. We're doing this now. If you take that sell setup, you're taking it for a 1, 2, 3 to break this low. So once it breaks that low, you'll have to put that to positive. After that, if it breaks this low and make any flag, we'll sell it. If it breaks that low in reverse, we'll consider the buy. It could be a buy setup because it came all the way back to the top. PayPal, you can look for buy setups. If you get flags, it should be buy. This might be worth going for the buy because we were really, really low. As an investment, this might not be a bad one too, because they've pulled back so low that at some point they're going to go back to retest these stops. Maybe not this. If this goes up as a correction, it will probably go up like this, which is not bad. You'll eventually come back here and go. If it goes up as an impulse, it's going to do that. That depends on whether you think that is an expanding flat or whether it's a contracting flat, right? So we'll see how this goes up, and this will tell us what it is. It's a buy setup. I actually like the idea for a buy here. And Tesla, it will go very slow if it's a correction, right? Tesla, look for a buy setup, go for it. If you get a buy setup here in the 1 hour, all you need is a flag. It makes a flag, take the trade, right? It's actually consolidating, but you want it to come down a little more like this and get this and then go for that trade. Even if it just does this and come back down, you'll get break even. Amazon, same here, you get a flag, go for the trade. US 30. We bought this on Friday, I think. You could come off of it, wait to see what it's doing now, because it's actually looking like downside, this whole big structure. But if it's just a 1, 2, 3 for upside, we're not going as aggressive as I thought we'd go. So let's wait and see what happens here. If this comes back higher, wait for a flat, look for the buy. If it actually stays here, it could be a sell setup. Even if it doesn't go all the way to the bottom, you can get out for positive. So it depends on how this consolidates. Right now, you're consolidating for a sell setup here. If it goes all the way to the top, it will be a buy. No, not, let me explain that, because any new traders watching this might say, well, you just said if it's going up, it's a buy. No, if it goes up all the way to the top, it has to come back here, and now it will become a buy. I hope that is clear, because sometimes I explain things and I assumed everybody understand it because I figure out what I just said. If it goes up to the top, that becomes a buy setup when it comes back to the low and then go, right? And if it stays here, this could be a sell, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to break this low. It could be a sell that comes here, make a bigger flat, comes here, make a bigger flat, comes here, and then go back up to make a bigger flat like this, which would be a sell setup. Or it could literally drop. Who cares? You're in the sell and then you manage a trade. You don't know what it's going to do. S&P 500, same thing, same setup. NASDAQ, same thing, same setup. NASDAQ is a little different. All three of those we bought and we closed. All three of those we can sell, especially this one. This one is coming back to the top almost. So if it does this, we'll go for the buy again. Right, this would be one. This would be a bigger flat here. Probably even more like this and then upside. So maybe the whole week we go in sideways and that would be great. Okay, we bought this, you close it, definitely. And now you wait. It's actually downside, but we don't have a sell setup. It's trying to go down, so we'll have to just wait because there is no sell setup there. Same here, no sell setup, no buy setup. Nifty. Okay, so Nifty will go back up. If you get any flag or any correction that you want to buy here for this move back to the top there, that is this move here, that makes sense. go for it. This would be a 1, 2, 3. For a flat, you definitely will come back here and then maybe upside. All of this would be more like that. So if you get setups here for buy, go for the trade back to the top there. Right? If it becomes a flat, which means instead of going up, I don't see a flat, I see more of a flag possibility. Although this dropped a little here, it's more still for upside because a flat means it'll come here, consolidate for a while, you get out of the trade. So, okay, guys, like I said, this one is going to be really short. Please go on YouTube, follow the videos, like it, run it to the end, make your comments, and share it. Thank you for watching. I would close it now. See all of my traders in the trading room immediately.